Hey there, Toonami faithful, and welcome back aboard Toonami Absolution, where we talk about the shows that made us us and the shows that made you you. Once again, we are your hosts. My name is Alyx.
I'm Sam.
And I'm John, and we're back with more YuYu Hakusho. Episode 7, Gouki and Kurama, and Episode 8, The Three Eyes of Hiei. There, I've ruined it. The Three Eyes of Hiei. Alyx, do it.
The Three Eyes of Hiei.
There we go, I've messed this up several times. Original air date, November 12th, 1992, and November 28th, 1992. Adult Swim got these April 6th and April 13th, 2002.
Before we get into it, I want to point to one manga thing. Hiei was not supposed to make it out of these chapters. Hiei got fully Vegeta'd. So essentially what happened, he was meant to be a one-off character. Kurama was supposed to come back, but not Hiei. And then Hiei ended up getting real damn popular with the manga readers, and that's why he comes back for Saint Beast Castle later on. So just to give you a little manga fun fact.
Can you blame them? He's cool. He has many extra eyes.
By the way, those extra, you're not going to see that form again.
I know. I was informed. I was like, oh.
It's the demon shape.
Unless it's the movie. You do get to see it in the movie.
The eye budget was increased.
It's true.
So kind of keeping in with the preceding weeks, surprised how quickly we're moving.
Yeah, we dive right back into the collect the three objects game, and we gather two in episode 7 and episode 8. We deal with the final one.
We're gathering our Sailor Scouts quite quickly.
Yeah. Take that deep dub.
Yeah.
Or I guess just that edit in general.
Just the original. The original's longer, remember?
What I really like about this is that Yusuke's outmatched entirely in every single, in the two fights he has over these two episodes. He's completely outmatched, and he knows it, and he has to figure it out. There's no last minute power up. There's no the power of friendship. It's no, I gotta be strategic about this, and I love that. It's so different from your normal undereducated karate boy.
Yeah, I mean, seeing him taking out the teen wolf with horns, Gouki, out with the point blank shot through the mouth, and you have to basically be diplomatic with Kurama and Kurama having to save his ass with Hiei. Yeah, it's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, I like him being this canny fighter. It makes sense for him, and I like they have seeded these ideas that they make logical sense. They don't feel like last minute we need a resolve point. Like you can clearly the idea of the inside of your mouth is going to be weaker is totally logical, and he presumably would know that from existing, and yeah, reflecting it off something. I don't know how spirit energy works, but kind of looks a bit like a beam. So yeah, in theory, it should.
Yeah. But yeah, in this first episode, we finish up the fight with Gouki. We figure out, we save the kids, and then we meet fan favorite Kurama, or as he is known by his human name, Suichi.
One of the things that I love, and I think I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, is that I love the color contrast with all the main characters in Yu Yu Hakusho, and we're really starting to see that kind of develop out into the ensemble that we all know and love with these episodes, because we get Kurama, who's what would you call that? Magenta, pink, red, like a royal red. Mauve, sure, okay. Oh, better than anything I was putting out there. And of course, Hiei's got the black with a little white streak of hair, like every good
little starburst.
Yeah. So yeah, I like that kind of continuing contrast that we're gonna get with our ensemble.
Kurama actually has black hair in the manga. They gave him the red hair to make him stand out more in the anime, because if he had black hair, that would have been 3 out of the 4 main characters in the cast would have had black hair.
Can't have that.
Can't have that. Too much.
Too much ink.
Yeah.
It's too much ink.
Costs too much. I also like with Kurama that we're sort of seeding early the idea that some creatures aren't aggressive, and that some can be resolved through different means. Every shonen gets to this point, but it's nice to have one really early to basically be, Spirit Detective isn't go in guns blazing and hope everything drops dead. There are going to be times you're going to have to use emotional intelligence to work through these problems.
And I know we're skipping over Gouki, but there's not that much more interesting stuff with Gouki. But with I like that Yusuke's whole reasoning is like he saw what his mom went through, and he doesn't want Kurama's mom to go through that. And the way Kurama explains how their relationship developed and what that meant to him as a demon in a human body, there's a lot of complexity around Kurama that is really interesting, and again speaks back to a point that John you made weeks ago, is that this show is not talking down to its audience.
Yeah, it does that quite. There's a lot of nice emotional bits in that episode. I like the fact we get to sort of see the mom in the hospital bed. They do ride that line in that it's built in such a way that it doesn't feel like maudlin and like, here's the sad moment. It's like, okay, he feels like a built character who's dealing with grief. I will say I'm slightly sad though that we do lose a moment from the manga, because at the end of this chapter, Yusuke goes back home and makes dinner for his mom, which I kind of wish they'd have kept. I think it bookends the conversation he has with Botan quite nicely, of being like, yeah, I was doing it to save my mom. Oh, right, my mom would have been sad again, though. Like, we got lucky. We're in a no-one-win situation, but we got lucky this time. I think that plays into that really nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah, spirit energy in the mirror. Never
But-
quite know what you're gonna get.
And
I love the voice of the Forlorn Hope, by the way. It's kind of like Shenron, but like trying so hard to not be Shenron.
You have called the dude in the mirror.
It's Sabat again, isn't it?
I don't know. Do we know who voices the Forlorn Hope?
I didn't look it up.
Like, if it's Sabat again, I would laugh. But it is that thing of, I like that the Forlorn Hope is sentient and then Yusuke kills it.
Yeah.
There's something very funny about that.
Oh no. My mirror children.
Like, but yeah, like so the way the Forlorn Hope works, as opposed to Goki's ball, the name of which is escaping me, the orb of Bast, because it makes no sense. The way the mirror works is that the mirror can grant you any wish, but you have to trade your life for that wish to happen. So Kurama just wants to hold on to it to give his mother her life, and then Yusuke's like, that is not okay. And that's how Yusuke makes a friend for life who he should have cheated off of in school.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a powerful moment that shows how far Yusuke's grown too, right? Like we were kind of like intimating at that he would be like, and it also juxtaposes. I think there's the good juxtaposition of the scene where Yusuke wakes up, at home, and it's just like it's all about moms here in the YuYu Hakusho world when it comes down to it. Also, can we talk about the spanking?
Of course.
Gonna clip that entirely out of context.
Yeah.
100 spankings.
Yes.
Only 100 for a god. It's too. Yeah, I think the god of all creation has more time for more than 100.
I don't think he does, but I don't think Dad has enough time for that shit. Dad's got other stuff to do.
Dad can delegate. He's got a whole office full of demons. They can rotor it.
Dad strikes me as king. Well, he strikes me as king of cosmos from like Katamari Damacy.
He does have that.
I don't know if we cycle the demons to spank the guy who's supposed to be their boss when Dad is not around. I think that's an HR violation.
Yeah.
I mean, but one of them will be HR, so they can't arrest themselves.
That is a point.
It is a very silly joke, but I think it makes sense and it plays off the dad thing quite well. I'm glad we ended it. It's a very weird though, because this is the first time we've ended an episode without an overarching plot. Because we've been resolving things in the middle of stuff and then having a new thing for it. It's the first time we've kind of just gone, okay, that plot line is done.
Just to kind of skip back to Hiei being the main villain before his like good guy redesign, when they make his eyes a little bit less creepy and make him cute, because he's kawaii as fuck. But you don't. I hope you don't have to bleep that. But I like.
Yeah, I have to bleep kawaii.
Oh, that's fair.
No bitchies allowed.
None of that. But Hiei, when he's evil, Hiei is like, my plan had a couple of road bumps, but I got everything I wanted anyway. And then he gets his ass kind of kicked, and Kurama shows up to get stabbed, which is going to happen to Kurama a lot, by the way. I
love the American voice actor when he's like, are you okay? It missed the organs.
Yeah. My favorite, though, is like, Kurama, are you okay? I have a hole. It's not the worst hole I've ever had in my stomach.
What makes that especially fun is that obviously he gets stabbed with the sword. It doesn't do anything to him because he's already a fox thing, so he's immune
Cat
to
demon.
demon. Yeah, cat demons are immune to most things. But there's a lot of blood on the sword. But then he takes the blood and throws it into Hiei's eyes. Like, ha! Pocket blood. Obviously, when this made its way to Toonami, they were like, oh, we can't have that. So they cut the blood, so it just looks like Hiei backhands him in the eye. It's like, poof. It's like, which is,
Get out of here.
in my opinion, slightly funny.
Get out of here with those
Yeah.
3 eyes.
By stabbing me, you've got in range for a reaction attack.
Yeah, it's a kind of it reframes what he's doing there. Instead of like generating blood to blind the many-eyed Hiei, he pulls him in closer just for the
slap. Respect your elders.
Kurama works on D&D 4E rules.
Hey, respect your elders. Kurama, because we see in the previous episode, we see his fox form. He's at least 400 years old at that point.
Oh
He's
yeah,
got he's got 4 tails.
his plan to hang with his mom was like, I'm just gonna wait 10 years till I heal. I was like, well,
You're like, oh no, I actually like this whole love and kindness thing. But yeah, at the point that he gets reincarnated, he's at least 400 years old. What an insane thing to have a baby that is 400 years old internally.
that must make applying for taxes awkward. Like,
Yeah.
how
Depending.
many people in your household? Well, there's me. We're both in our 40s. He's 576.
Yeah.
He owes a lot in back taxes. He was not reporting his income during the Sengoku period.
But he also gets a lot of pension they haven't paid him yet. It's very confusing.
Yeah, they caught up with him during the Meiji Restoration, but the
They gave him the slip.
yeah. I mean, again, like I'm just forgetting how brisk this whole thing is moving. That we've got 2 new, like in Dragon Ball. I guess actually Dragon Ball is a bad example because there was like a stretch of Dragon Ball episodes where they're like, here's Yamcha, here's Master Roshi, here's the Ox King, here's Oolong, and it kind of, now that I'm thinking about it, it does kind of match that kind of energy to a bit where they're almost like they almost get their own spotlight episode before they um you know become part of the ensemble, so to speak.
I think this is just doing it in smooth and better. I love how when Botan is talking and they're sort of planning what to do to deal with Hiei, not to deal with Kurama, they go but have a flashback to the moment when they're in the forest talking. Yuki's like, well, maybe he is trustworthy because they had that conversation where he seemed like he was leaving. So they do seem to be sort of building this slightly solid foundation for these characters to exist on a bit better.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, Hiei, it's a little bit less of a thing because at this point in the manga, they were like, he's not going to be a character anymore. But Kurama, they knew was going to be around.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how long it is that Hiei is kind of off the board because it's a while, isn't it?
No, he comes back during St. Beast Castle, where we go to St. Beast Castle, I think in like 2 episodes after, like we have 2 episodes and then it's St. Beast Castle.
The reader reaction was that fast. They were like, "No, this is the dude. We need more of this."
Unleash the boy.
We'll get to this, but I believe that the excuse that was made is that Spirit World offered him a deal to help with St. Beast Castle. Because, like, Kurama has already been exonerated despite being a 400-year-old fox thief who broke into their vaults. They're like, yeah, no, good behavior. But Hiei, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, and we'll know in a couple of weeks, but I think that Spirit World kind of, like, blackmails him into helping.
Okay. Yeah.
Yay. The gacha pulled him.
Do we want to talk about the Keiko condition?
I love Keiko's situation in this because obviously this is episode where Botan gets their human form, and I love, again, it's a 4kidsism, but they have Botan go up to her and be like, "I'm sorry for talking through your mom, but her spirit energy was just so good." And again, I love it. They make her wackier, but again, I really like that. It gives me real Terry Pratchett energy of this Botan just being this absolute weirdo with no idea how society works. But obviously, yeah, we have a bit of a love triangle starting up.
No.
I think from Keiko's perspective, it feels like a love triangle. She is
from her perspective, yeah, but Botan is the Grim Reaper.
Botan has no room for love, just killing.
Yeah.
Not to get spoilery, but if I recall correctly, Botan and Koenma kind of have a thing later on when Koenma gets his adult form.
I mean, that would make sense.
It would make more sense.
This
Yeah.
is a bad office. This is a bad office environment, so a HR violation would suit them.
Wait
Yeah.
till we get to Chapter Black.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't see
no.
this becoming a harem anime like Tenchi, but it could.
Hey, look at how pretty our protagonists are.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry.
I mean, based on what we've seen of Yusuke's mom, I think she's in the harem anime because she seems to be attracting a lot of people.
Yeah. A lot of like
She's-
handsome young men.
She's just off on her own adventure.
I would love an OVA just about Asuko and what she's doing.
My son is dead, but I crave companionship. That's a bumper sticker.
Man, I want that bumper sticker. Get in the comments.
Yeah.
Oh.
You got to just Vistaprint.
Yeah.
Vistaprint sponsor us.
Well, no, save it for when I inevitably have to set up a merch store, and then you'll all be sorry.
Oh
Sorry.
man, then you'll see. We'll set up that red bubble so good.
I'll get sued by Toei again.
Oh boy.
Again.
I do. Yeah, I love sort of having that now that Botan is in the world, so he has to deal with this, and it causes some nice chaos and some nice comedy. Yeah, she nearly becomes a monster, but she gets better.
Yeah. She's going to become the quote unquote the lowest and least intelligent of demons because of the power of this sword, and this sword will never get brought up again.
Because it only makes low quality demons.
Yeah, you gotta get the real 3D printer to get your high quality demons. At least one tail.
Yeah, all we get this time around is like the shitty Doctor Strange 2 eye like appearing in the forehead.
The little demon sword only produces bad eyes.
Yeah.
The Jagan eye specifically, which I'm kind of convinced the line about that had to have gotten added in retroactively because I don't know if his third eye had a title at this point in the manga.
I don't think it does. I think it may just be a thing of they added it in here.
Yeah. Because Hiei's third eye is technically it's artificial, but that wasn't clear here.
Does that make Hiei the Tien Shinhan of our piece?
Does he have a little companion? That's the question.
Well, he hasn't broken Kuwabara's leg yet.
But he is kind of the bad boy, like Tien Shinhan when we first see him. 3 eyes, kind of cool.
Yeah, but Tien Shinhan was not willing to pull that trigger, and Hiei is absolutely ready to pull that trigger.
Also,
Hiei is... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say Tien Shinhan, shoulders.
Shoulders for days. Hiei never gets bigger than this. He remains svelte.
Talking of Hiei and his powers, he has like this latent mind control ability thing. And again, there's a piece from the manga that's cut, which I really wish had remained in that just Yusuke bursts into the warehouse and starts punching them. Which I wish, that is such a Yusuke, it fits Yusuke really well. Of like, yeah, I don't care if you've got all these random fillers. I've beat these people up before anyway. Like, I've probably beat up half this city. I don't care. I'll punch them.
We live in Escape from New York, goddammit.
Yeah. I have beef with half this place. I'm down.
Let's go. Let's go. Straight hands. We don't run the ones here.
Also, talking about editing, it's kind of funny. The first episode only has 2 edits for Toonami, which is changing a damn to just removing it, and a hell to a heck. And then the second episode is edit to go, baby. Every shot of Kurama with the sword sticking out is removed. Hiei saying Yusuke has gone insane is cut, which I guess anything people cutting on the sword, anything with blood is removed. This episode is noticeably shorter because of it. Weirdly, except when he has the sword in his stomach, there is the blood remains when he pulls it out, because I guess they're like, we can't cut any more scenes. This episode's already 3 minutes too short. All the spanking stuff is removed, but we get the scene just zoomed in a little bit, but they don't say spanking. So, oh, he's being punished, cut. I'm sorry. It's like, oh.
That's worse somehow.
I guess it was the thing, we've already cut so much of this episode, we cannot cut anymore. And
I mean, if you cut Kurama with the blood on him, you're cutting him out of the episode.
Pretty much. That's the only reason I think that the stomach wound, I think they kind of just have like, okay, we can't have him with the sword in, but we have to leave some of the blood when it's out because there will just be nothing. The episode was cut to black about 10 minutes in, and that's it.
And then
Uh,
Keiko's fine the next episode.
Keiko's like, I still didn't like him. And
Yeah.
yeah, the other edit is we get an edit to the next on, which is going to cause us some problems going forward. Because did you see the one guy in the next one has a swastika on his forehead? So obviously that gets a good cutting. And yeah, prepare for the edits to start ramping up here.
This is where that whole like, ooh, the Buddhist context of the swastika rears its ugly head once more.
Yeah, and it's funny just because I've been I write out the entire list of all the edits, and it's just like these next few episodes, like, oh, just a few little swearing changes. The next couple are just like page each, whole scene's gone.
If I recall correctly, Naruto had to edit Neji because of the swastika on his forehead.
There's a few great, if you ever look into old airings, of just ones where the digital paint isn't good enough to work. So it's just like he has like a little floating box in front of him the entire time.
It's his mind box.
Yeah, yeah.
I like the fight with Hiei and Yusuke a lot because Yusuke is so incredibly outclassed so early in the show. Like, it took a while for Goku to be outclassed to this level in Dragon Ball.
Yes. Yeah, he has to be, like you were saying, he has to be strategic, and he needs help. Every step of the way, he needs help.
I love how they play him as well with that strategy as well. Because even that first bit where he lands that first punch, like he waits the guy's distracted, punches him, and he waits for him to come in as a counter punch, which play really into this. Like he's a really talented street fighter, so if he can pull you down to his level, he will have you. Which I think is just a nice dynamic. And yeah, he doesn't need spirit, and that's the one thing. Like everyone thinks, oh, he's low in spirit energy, but what he makes up for is like I have been nutting people in the street for the last 10 years of my life. So if I get you close up with fists, I'm going to win.
Yeah.
Raised in the streets.
I also
absolutely
love how we're continuing with the objects we're giving him. Like we give him the spirit ring, which boosts the power of the spirit gun, but we're keeping the 1 a day limit, and we're playing pretty fair with it, which I'm surprised about because most things that would have vanished after day. It would have been like, oh, actually, you can do it as many times as you want now. Or we'd have every episode takes place over 6 days. But no, they're keeping to it, and they've powered him up, but there's a nice little limit to it where it's like, okay, that's a one shot will knock you down kind of thing.
Yeah.
It is also my favorite. They're doing the thing where I know exactly of how many object I'm supposed to have. None of the Shikon Jewel crap. Like we know what to anticipate, and I do appreciate that because I know a manga isn't going to jerk me around for 800 chapters with Naraku getting new powers for no reason. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And even with the sort of tools they're giving him, they are building them up in a way that kind of there's a decent logic there. Even so, we introduced the ring isn't something he should have yet. That's something that Botan is basically being like, we need to give you something here. Then he gets a compass. Yeah, they are building them up nice and slowly. That sort of are playing into his. I really like the introduction of the compass because, like, it's got to be a monster you've already encountered. Which, yeah, that makes, based on how we've done Spirit Energy stuff up, that makes sense. And it's introduced really nicely in a way. It's like, okay, this is going to speed up this second part of the episode, but it doesn't make you that much stronger.
Yeah, it'll be enough to power up the hit, but you still only have one hit and you got to use it wisely.
Yeah. Pick your shot because you only get the one.
I agree. I never really thought about it that much, but the limits they put on Yusuke in the beginning are actually really refreshing. Like, especially because, even with stuff like Naruto gets that power up to do the Kagebunshin no Jutsu very fast. Like the power up, like, don't even get me started on My Hero Academia. Like that happens fast. And it's nice to see Yusuke having to kind of come into his own with the memory that Yusuke was essentially a normal kid up until he got hit by a car.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a heck of a street fighter, as we were saying, because that's all he does in that first episode until he gets hit by a car. But Yeah, I mean, he's only been Spirit Detective mode for what, 2 episodes now? Three
Yeah, like
episodes?
it's been like 3 days total.
Yeah. He's used the spirit gun, what, 3 times?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it's the setting really helps with this, in that the setting is surprisingly restrained. Like we've introduced monsters, but we're introducing them pretty slowly. And having this setting means that we can do some more stuff with the combat. We're not in the situation Dragon Ball finds itself in, where we're quickly fighting trained martial artists. It is like we are doing these very small, contained missions that have a complication every time and are in an environment where your options are limited.
Yeah. Yeah. I do like, I know we were kind of like dismissing Goki earlier, but I do like his transformation scene, his basic design. Um, I like the idea that Yusuke is outmatched when he first faces him, and it takes Botan to conveniently show up to stop that from going south. Um, I'm definitely looking forward to more monstrous monsters as we progress and progress soon, I think,
Yeah.
because
Like
everything else is fast.
like Yoshihiro Togashi's sense of design, I think, is something that I don't hear talked about enough. Like
Mm.
the monsters, as we go through this, all the demons and everything, it's going to feel interesting, and it's going to feel earned when you get those big set piece monsters. And I think that a lot of, not to be crude, but I think a lot of anime and manga and comics and media in general kind of like blow their load very quickly, essentially. Like you may have to censor that, but they blow it really quickly, and the sense of escalation just isn't there. I think Yu Yu Hakusho does a great sense of escalation.
Yeah. I will say the weirdest scene, I think, for me, just animation wise in these 2 episodes, is the scene on the rooftop
Oh,
between Yusuke and where they're just kind of like awkwardly like kind of standing there. It's just kind of an odd, prolonged shot. And I was like, oh. And I think the reason it stands out is because the quality and the fluidity of the animation everywhere else is so great.
just really cutting that budget.
Yeah.
Otan will not move unless needed.
Neither will Yusuke.
We're
They're
not
just
paying Takeshi for extra frames this week.
yeah.
The god of death does not move her knees.
He doesn't even have those.
Yeah. Yeah. What are knees?
Talking of Botan, I love both her initial outfit, where she is just dressed like every pop star from the mid 80s, and her school uniform.
So cute.
It's so cute. And also, that was one of those images that was, if you went on sort of old anime fan sites, you would see Botan in that costume. I think even before like this had been localized, it was just one of those images you would see everywhere, which is funny because we're not going to get very much of it. It's like Bulma in her bunny suit. They're not that common in the anime. Just everyone latched onto them as like, this is the anime girl we draw.
Yeah. Every era has their anime girl. But so what are our final thoughts? The band is finally together. What are our final thoughts on the band being together?
I mean, yeah, it's like I say, chugging along. Every time I'm surprised. Every episode after like episode of the week of Beast Wars or just Dragon Ball decompressing everything. Um, it's really refreshing to see something that just even, Cowboy Bebop, you're only getting the mythology episodes once every like 5 episodes. So with this, to see this mythology and this cast build up so quickly, it's refreshing.
Yeah, this feels really nicely planned. This definitely feels as we have a moving goal and something that makes, we're building to it in a way that makes sense. They've done just a really good job of setting a base here that even though we now no longer have a lingering plot thread, we have a group of characters who are interesting. Like, it won't happen, but I think we have reached a point where you can have these characters play off each other in 100 different ways, and they'd all be interesting episodes, even if we're not introducing new monsters. So I think, yeah, it's done really well to set up a world that is compelling.
I mean, we all know what my final thoughts are. I think the main thing I want to mention here is like this. I feel like the planning and the intense dedication to detail is kind of a result of Yoshihiro Togashi's very well noted anxiety issues. It's sad, but it's also the truth. Like Yoshihiro Togashi was well known for being a perfectionist and being very anxious. Like he part of the reason why Hunter x Hunter takes so long these days is because he refuses to let his assistants actually help as much as they should be. And he's also in a lot of physical pain, but it's you see where it pays dividends, and I appreciate it. Thank you, Yoshihiro Togashi. I'm sorry that you ruined your bodily and mental health, but I also really love the product. But yeah, Yoshihiro Togashi is a really interesting dude. Definitely look into his story if you are ever interested. And he did get the one prize in life. He married Naoko Takeuchi, so he married like one of the richest women in Japan. So good for him. But that does mean that we are pulling into our final destination. That's right. It is time for us to disembark from Toonami Absolution. We want to thank you once again for joining us and talking about the shows that made us us and the shows that made you you. We have been your hosts. My name is Alyx.
I'm Sam.
And I'm John.
And we'll see you next time. Bang.